Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. NFL teams should take stock of Jerry Jones finally letting Jimmy Johnson into Cowboys' Ring of Fame. With Jerry Jones finally letting Jimmy Johnson into the Dallas Cowboys' Ring of Honor next month, it's time to take stock of any remaining glaring omissions by NFL teams that give esteemed organization figures their flowers by naming them to their Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor, or other circle of celebration. Men like Larry Fitzgerald, Tony Gonzalez, Bernie Kosar, and Demaryius Thomas. Teams all have their own protocols, processes, criteria, and even waiting periods for these honors. Some of the exclusions aren't necessarily oversights or miscalculations, and many may follow in Johnson's footsteps soon enough. Jones announced Sunday that Johnson will go into the Cowboys' Ring of Honor on December 30th when the Cowboys host the Detroit Lions. Johnson led the Cowboys to back-to-back Super Bowls in the 1992 and 1993 seasons during his 5-year tenure in Dallas, but the relationship between the two men who played football together at Arkansas in the 1960s deteriorated with a bitter feud leading to a separation following that second Super Bowl win. "I'm appreciative of the Ring of Honor, but more appreciative of him bringing me to the Cowboys in '89, Johnson said at a news conference with Jones. Three teams, the Bears, Rams, and Raiders, don't honor their revered stars in this way at all. So, sorry Brian Urlacher. Apologies, Jack Youngblood, and condolences, Gene Upshaw. 7 franchises have no waiting list of notable exclusions: the Texans, Vikings, Chargers, Patriots, Giants, Steelers, and 49ers. Cowboys 24-year-old breakout Darren Bland sounds off on NFL record. Don't look now, but the number 1 player on the touchdown list for this year's Cowboys is wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, with 5. Tied for number 2 is tight end Jake Ferguson and defensive back Darren Bland. Yes, that is right, Darren Bland is second among Dallas players in touchdowns. Informed of that stat on Sunday, after he scored on his 4th pick six of the season, Bland told reporters, "Crazy to think about. Crazy indeed, especially because, just 11 weeks into the NFL season, Bland finds himself already in the record books, tied for the most pick six interceptions in one season in league history. Darren Bland's name is now on a list that includes Eric Allen of the Eagles, 1993, Jim Kearney of the Chiefs, 1972, and Ken Houston of the Houston Oilers, 1971. Houston and Allen went to the Pro Bowl in their 4 pick six seasons, and Bland, a 24-year-old who was a 5th-round pick out of Fresno State in 2022, is likely to do the same. But first, he is on the hunt for the NFL record of 5 pick six interceptions. "It just makes another goal to break it," he said about the record. "I think it was when I touched the end zone, it was like, well, I just did it. I tied the record. But now, my mindset is, I'm level-headed now, and I am trying to go break it." Bland leads the league in total interceptions with 6, and he currently sits with a Pro Football Focus grade of 91.1 this season, the best in the NFL among cornerbacks. His performance this year has taken the sting out of losing Trayvon Diggs to a season-ending knee injury. The record-tying pick came on a fourth-quarter first-down pass from Panthers quarterback Bryce Young, with the Cowboys ahead 24-10. Bland was guarding receiver Jonathan Mingo. Bland said Mingo was ahead of him, which might explain why Young, who had mostly avoided throwing his way all day, creating a sort of Darren Bland Island, took a chance. "I seen him running the under and he kinda had a step on me at first," Bland explained. "I had to catch up, and once I caught up, I turned, I seen the ball and I was like, yes. I was like, I got to go get this one. Because I only had like 3 targets, so I had to make the most of my opportunities." Of all the interceptions returned for touchdowns by Bland this year, he said the one against Carolina was the best, mostly because he had to do some serious running to make it happen. Bland made a diving pick at the Cowboys' 30-yard line and rolled after securing the ball. It took a moment for him to realize he had not been touched when he went down and that he was holding a live ball. So he did what Darren Bland does best this season: he headed for the end zone. Having to actually run the ball, having to actually make some moves, actually getting up like that, Bland said, explaining why it was the toughest of his pick six plays. "You don't usually really get to return like that. And you don't usually get to land in the history books. But now, Darren Bland, Cowboys, will be there. It wasn't really about the record. It's really about being in the history books," being remembered, he said. Cowboys urged to sign ex-Eagles defender as potential replacement. The Dallas Cowboys could find a potential replacement in a former Philadelphia Eagles cornerback. As suggested by Bleacher Report's NFL staff, the Cowboys should consider signing Houston Texans cornerback Steven Nelson. Two of Dallas' top three cornerbacks, Stephon Gilmore and Jordan Lewis, will be free agents after this season, which means the Cowboys might be forced to look for a new starting cornerback. Dallas has several impending free agents at cornerback, most notably Stephon Gilmore and Jordan Lewis. So they'll be looking to add at least one corner this offseason, and Steven Nelson could be a good replacement as he's been putting together an impressive campaign so far. BR's NFL staff argues that Nelson has been a solid corner this season, outperforming both Gilmore and Lewis. According to Pro Football Focus, the Texan allowed just a 79.2 passer rating when targeted and 23 receptions on 361 coverage snaps through Week 10. He's also fared better in PFF's grading system than Gilmore and Lewis have, and the 31-year-old likely wouldn't break the bank on the open market. The 30-year-old veteran has served as a starter for the majority of his career, starting 108 of his 123 appearances during his 9 seasons in the NFL. The only season he did not start was during his rookie campaign back in 2015. Along the way, Nelson has started for a number of playoff-contending teams, including the likes of the Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Over the course of his career, Nelson's teams have advanced to the playoffs 6 different times. Considering his playoff pedigree, he's played in 8 postseason games, more than Lewis and Trayvon Diggs combined. The Cowboys could benefit from signing Nelson. As BR's NFL staff mentions, signing Nelson, who has never garnered an All-Pro or Pro Bowl appearance in his career, would likely be a bargain signing. Nelson's maximum value this season is $6.5 million, according to Aaron Wilson of KPRC-TV. During Nelson's peak, he earned $8.5 million per year with the Steelers after signing with them prior to the 2019 season. According to Spotrac, Nelson's projected market value is $10.2 million per season across 3 years at a total of $30.65 million. That type of salary would make Nelson the 18th highest-paid cornerback in the NFL. By comparison, Gilmore's current contract pays him $10 million per year. According to Spotrac, his projected market value is $11.1 million per season. According to Pro Football Focus, Nelson has posted a 76.8 defensive grade and 78.7 grade in coverage. Among all cornerbacks, with at least 100 snaps, Nelson ranks 20th in defensive grade and 18th in coverage grade. By comparison, Gilmore has posted a 69.2 defensive grade and 67.3 grade in coverage, while surrounded by a much more talented defensive supporting cast. The Cowboys could upgrade while signing Nelson to a cheaper deal than Gilmore. Furthermore, they would be signing a player that's 2.5 years younger than the 33-year-old Gilmore. Considering cornerback will likely be a huge position to fill in the offseason, Nelson could be the perfect signing for the Cowboys. And you fan, what do you think of the Steven Nelson situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.